What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's How To. Today I'm going to show you guys how to attach anything to a tiled surface. In this particular case, we're going to be installing a knife block. Let's get straight into it, guys. Let's do this. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you step by step how to mark out, drill out, and also attach our little knife block here. It's going to be the same process regardless of what you're hanging onto the tiled surface. In this particular case here, we need to first have a look at the back to see the mounting points and see just exactly how this one here is going to be attached. So if we have a look at the back here, you can see we've got a little notch on both sides. That's designed for the screw to slide into, and then it locks in on the top. So we need to know that the screw is actually going to be locked in on the top position, and that's going to help us determine exactly where we need to mark our location. So the first thing I'm going to do is just simply mark out roughly where I want my positioning here. Roughly going to have it around right here. I'm going to take a level, drop that on the bottom. This is going to help me line everything up, make sure I've got it 100% level before we go ahead. I'm going to take my pencil and just put little markings here on the top as just a reference guide. Make sure that hasn't moved. Alright, that's looking pretty good right there. So now we've got our reference point right here. What we're going to do is flip this section here around. I'll bring you guys in a bit closer and I'll show you a little trick to make your marking much easier. So this part here is probably the most difficult for a lot of people, marking out the location between our two anchoring points here. The easiest way around it is to use some masking tape. So all you want to do is just mark up your top section, because we know our little anchor points are going to be right here. So if we take this masking tape, run it all the way along the top, getting that as level as possible, which we've got right there. We'll cut this little piece here off there. And what I'm going to do now is just take a little knife and just trim this one here right on the edge. The reason why I'm trying to get it as straight as possible is because this is going to give me an exact reference as to how long my piece here is that we're actually installing. So that's going to help me center it in the exact finished location. Alright, once we've got that section there done, what we're going to do now is take a little screw. Alright, and we're just going to recess this little area here because we know this is where it's going to lock into. Just with the tip of your nail or your finger, you can mark out that location. Same thing on this side here. Once we know where that is, we're going to take our screw and we're going to mark it right on the tip there. So right on the end, which is right on the top section of where our finished position for our screw will be. Same thing over here. Alright, so now we've got this marked out 100% perfectly. What we're going to do is remove this tape here and apply it to the wall, making sure that we still remember that this is the top section of our block. So if we imagine we're going to flip it around, this is going to be the top. And we just need to make sure that that's going to be our reference point there. So peel this one here off and then we're going to attach it to the wall. So take that masking tape using the pencil marks that we made as a level. We're going to center this one here into the exact position that we want. Move that over just a little bit. That's looking pretty good right there. Press that one there down. And now we've got our exact locations that we need for our drilling. So now we've got everything in position, ready to mark it up and then drill it out. If you haven't seen one of these before, it's called a spring-loaded center punch. This not only marks the location that you need to drill out, but it also creates a little divot in the area to prevent your drill from wandering around, especially on the tiles. So all you have to do is take your spring-loaded center punch, line that up with the position that we marked out for our screw, push that in. That'll create a little divot in that location. Do the same thing on this side here. Once we've got that, we can now remove our tape. And we've got two little pinpoints right here that's going to allow us to drill that out nice and easy. At this point, you can take off your little markings here because we no longer need those. Always a good idea to use a pencil because it'll rub out just as easy as that. So I'll just bring you guys in a bit closer, show you the marking that we've made. We've got a little pinpoint right here, which is our center punch mark. Same thing on the other side, and that's going to prevent our drill bit from wandering around, and we know exactly where it needs to be drilled out. So now we're going to drill some holes into the tiles to allow the anchor to sit into so that we can actually attach our block. Now, there's a lot of ways that you can do this. This is my preferred method. I've been doing it for over 10 years using the exact same method. You can use a specialty drill bit like this one here to drill your holes out. They are expensive, these drill bits, and they wear out fairly quick depending on the type of tile. So what I prefer to use is just my regular drill driver on hammer function mode. Now, don't use an SDS rotary hammer drill, which is your big rotary hammer drill. That's going to blow out your tiles. You're going to 100% create some damage. This one here, it takes a bit of practice, but it's nice and simple. All we're going to use is a standard masonry bit, which I'll try and focus in for you guys. You can see right there, just a standard 5mm masonry bit. That's all we need here. So we have pre-marked the location so the drill bit isn't going to wander around. We've got it on hammer function mode so that we're going to be able to go through this tile nice and easy. Keep in mind, you just want nice firm pressure. Don't over push it, the amount of pressure onto the tiles, and at the same time don't put too little pressure because you don't want it bouncing around on the tiles and not actually going through. Nice and simple. That's our location right here. It's that simple, guys. You won't crack the tiles. You don't need masking tape. This is my most preferred method. It's nice and simple. Works for both porcelain and ceramic tiles. However, porcelain tiles, once again, will wear out your drill bits really quick. Alright, so now we've got those ones there drilled out. We're going to take our little wall anchors here, or our little plugs. These are my favorite ones. If you can find ones with a little lip, as you guys can see there on the end, that prevents the plug from actually going in behind there. So you can get your normal standard 5mm plugs, put them in, but then you always risk having that plug push right through as you try and drive that screw through. So once you've got them in, you can take a hammer and just use the back of it because we don't want to damage the tiles. Push them in nice and flat. And now we're ready to attach our screws. So we're using 30mm long 8-gauge screws. Drive them in, and what we want to keep in mind here is the distance that we leave these protruding out. So depending on how deep this little recessed area here is, you might need to pull them out just a little bit, or you might need to drive them in a bit further. Test it out and then make your adjustments as you need to. We'll quickly test this one here out and see if it fits. Not sure where that location there is. Alright. So that's that one there installed. You can see it's got a bit of play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive these in just a little bit further, making sure that both of them are the same distance out from the wall. So once you've made your adjustments, confirm that it's sitting perfect as it should. Put the level on top and double check your levels. Perfect. So there you have it, guys. That's just how easy it is to attach anything to a tiled surface. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video and you've learned something new. As always, like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching Billshowto.